most important episode.
Yeah.
All right? Who needs episode numbers?
No.
Who sounds better, me or Kate, on the microphone?
On the mics.
Who sounds better?
Okay, great.
That's the right answer.
Great answer. You both sound fantastic on the microphones. Your shirts look amazing. They're not the same by any means. Annie and Kate, owners of Jade Salon. If I butcher any of this, just please tell me.
We'll let you know.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
I
far,
know
so
you'll
good.
So
Doing
far, so
great.
good.
Yeah.
So you guys, 25 years of friendship, entrepreneurs, co-owners, like crazy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? And before we really get into that story, I have a specific question for you. Mm-hmm. I was doing some digging, and you have a strange obsession with chopsticks?
Oh, yeah.
Let's hear about that a little
No,
bit.
sweet. Okay, well, it really started when I was probably 18, 19, going to like a hibachi place for the first time, and I would steal those
One of
little...
those like flare ones?
Yep.
Okay.
I'd steal those little soup spoons. And then I was like, oh, I like these chopsticks. I didn't really know how to use them yet. I didn't have sushi till I was almost like 25 or 26. But Annie moved to Korea when we graduated from UNCG. She moved to Korea for a year. And I was like, I need you to bring me back some chopsticks.
Yeah.
And another good friend of ours, Coy, he brought me back some too. So I actually have like legit chopsticks from Asia. And yeah, that's kind of what it started. I still have them on my kitchen. They probably are really dusty.
No.
How many sets of chopsticks do you have?
I probably have 20.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're
She's a
sticking-
collector of
Yeah, I'm a
things.
hoarder. It's
Well-
a better word for hoarder.
What about you? Any strange hobbies, collections that you have?
I don't think so.
Elephants.
Yeah, I had elephants for a while.
Okay.
Kind of started, but then that memory got tied up with something that wasn't such a great memory. So
Okay.
I kind of passed it on, but I don't think so.
No.
I really, no, I really don't.
She's a
have any-
minimalist.
Minimalist?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Which I feels. Yeah.
So yeah, not really.
Cool. Well, let's get back to this 25-year friendship. How'd you meet? Tell the story. Let's hear it. All the juicy details.
All the juicy details. Well, it's really not the first part of it's really not that exciting. We grew up across the street from each other. Grew up in Madison, about 30, 45 minutes north of Greensboro.
Shout out to Madison.
Yeah, shout out to Madison, small town. So we lived across the street from each other. We're in school together. And when we were in high school, she was the neighbor who kind of stepped up to the plate and said, hey, you need a ride to school in the morning. She was a year older than me. She's still a year older than me. And so she was like, hey, you need somebody to pick you up. So she would come pick me up every day for high school in her red Celica. And that's kind of how it started.
Did it have a spoiler?
Yes, and
Yeah.
a little moonroof. And I was so pissed when I found out it was a moonroof and didn't open.
And didn't open all the way. Yep.
We were
So,
listening to Nelly and Tupac.
Did you have one of the boxes in the back? Did you have like I did?
Talking about subwoofer?
Yeah.
No,
I did in my
I did not
Honda.
have a subwoofer.
I did in my Honda, but I don't think you did in the Celica.
It was a 2-seater.
I love my dad. Well, why do you got to have all that ba-boom shit in your car? And
Yep.
it's like, because
Yeah.
I need my mirror to fall off every other week.
Right. And I think at the same time is when you would put the tape in that attached to the cord that attached to the CD player. Mm-hmm. And it still sounded great. It
I
was
always
still really
wanted one of
good.
those Talons.
Talons?
Do you remember those?
I remember the Talons.
That was like my dream car, Eclipse.
Eclipse. Oh,
An
yeah.
Eclipse.
And looking back on it,
Yes.
you're like, wow, it could be the worst
It
car
could
ever
be.
manufactured. But then
Yeah.
it's like, man, that Eclipse is hot.
I know, with
Yeah.
those lights.
Yeah.
Do you remember the lights that were clear?
I had
You would
those on the
change them.
Honda.
You
Yeah.
did. I
Yep.
can't remember the name of them.
Yep.
But I was so jealous
Yep.
of that. Yeah. Yeah, Toyota Celica.
I don't know that I remember those. That might have been
I
just
know.
a you
I know.
thing.
We
That's
are
okay.
older than you,
all
just by a
good.
little bit. But
all
yes,
good.
no, we became friends in high school.
And then we just kind of continued on.
Yeah.
We ended up going to college together. Like none of it was
None
on
of it was
purpose.
planned,
None of
yeah.
it was on purpose. Went to college together, lived together a couple of times. Each time that we didn't live together, we took a little bit of a break from each other. Then graduated from college and moved separate ways just a little bit and found ourselves back together again. And I decided to go to hair school. We had both graduated from UNCG, and she was in
I was just
kind of the
bartending.
bartending in the industry, and she's like, I want something a little bit new. I had been at Jade for I don't know, at that time, maybe 2 years, like not very long at all.
Yeah.
She came up, started working guest care. She moved her way up to owner, and I moved my way up to owner as well. And so we've been
13
there
years ago?
13, yeah, we've been there 13, 14 years. And just kind of, I don't know. I don't know what fate is. I don't know what that means. I don't know how it's all supposed to be, but
weird coincidences always happen between us where we really do not plan them. So I met my husband Keith.
Kind of like the shirts today.
Yeah.
yeah, you can go ahead and put it
Okay,
down.
I know. I'll put it down. I was trying to act like we didn't have the same damn shirt on, but no, it's the same
is.
one.
I've got a clicker in my head. That's twice. I'm trying to get to 10 times.
Yeah, drink every time he mentions we have the same shirt
It's like
on.
the meow from Super Troopers. Meow.
No, but no, weird coincidences do happen between us where we do not plan them. So I moved to Salisbury. So I was working at Fishbones. Oh, shout out to Neil and Holly. It was one of my favorite jobs ever. And Keith, my husband, worked in Charlotte. And so we decided to move to Salisbury because it was like a middle ground, right? Like an hour each way. And I was still commuting up here to bartend because I loved it so much. And lived there for about a year. Well, then Annie and her husband, his family's from Salisbury, and they have this opportunity to kind of take over that amazing house for his parents. And then she ended up moving to Salisbury. So then we commuted together up to the salon for like 2 years. We got pregnant together. Didn't mean to. I mean, we both meant to get pregnant.
You actually
like I didn't that time, but whatever.
I did.
Yes,
You didn't.
And then we were pregnant at the same time.
Keith, though, he's very
Yeah,
spent.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you,
And
Keith.
for like a week or two, had the same due date.
Yep.
With our boys.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And then it got moved because they looked at the wrong lab results. Anyways, our kids were 2 weeks apart, born 2 weeks apart. Just weird little things like that happen, like where we really never kind of plan those
Like,
things. So.
Even when you tried to separate, life just kept bringing
Yeah.
you back together.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
100%.
I get it.
100%. Yeah.
Well, you guys have touched on a few of my next points here. Like, was doing some research, and it seems like you guys do have a pretty diverse educational background. You know, from hospitality to business, cosmetology, and whatnot. Do you feel like that educational background kind of brought you to the salon, or do you just feel like it?
Looking back on it, absolutely. And I talk a lot with younger people now. When we think about, I think so many things. The salon industry is so underrated and how successful one can be as a hairstylist.
Yeah.
Kate and I were in that time period where we were going to college. Our parents, the expectation was you were going to a 4-year school. That was the only thing that you could do, period, end of conversation. Trade school, it wasn't good enough. You know, it was, but it wasn't. And so even thinking about doing anything like that was not for us and us going to school. But looking back on it, we went to school on a wing and a prayer and ready to just party our asses off, you know, and that's what we did. And it was great and it was wonderful. So when I started, I was psychology, which of course is helpful now. She was textile design.
I can't sew.
Which she can't sew, but she's very good fashion and all of that kind of wraps into it. We then switched to that and went to hospitality and did that together. And then with that, did business together. So of course it does all come together. But to kind of wrap our heads around, you know, is all of that necessary? Is all of that higher education necessary to get us where we are today? I think it definitely helps.
It helped, but it
but
didn't.
the life experience and just going through the grit of it and just being in it every day definitely taught us.
Annie, when we graduated from UNCG, like 6 months later, was like, I'm going to move to Korea and teach English. And I was like, you're doing what? And she left me. Left me. I actually didn't show up at the airport because I was so hungover. I overslept.
Yeah.
I didn't see her for 6 months. She was still not let me live this story down.
Talk about stories of forgiveness.
Yeah.
You know?
No, she still never forgave me.
I mean, I
pulled an all-nighter and didn't show up at her.
Shit happens sometimes.
Shit happens.
But anyways, when she came back from going to Korea for a year, she was like, you know what? I think I'm going to go to hair school. I was like, fuck it. do it. I mean, why not? She always did my hair growing up when we were in high school. She would braid my hair for volleyball or cheerleading. She pulled my hair through a cap. And if you don't know what that means, it's so painful.
Very
but you
painful
wore this
process.
cap and there's these little holes and you have to take this little clip and you pull the hair through the cap and then you bleach it to make it look how I did. It was awful. Awful pain, but it looks great. I fucking look like an insect.
Can I schedule an appointment for that?
You
this
absolutely
weekend?
can.
Yeah, thank
So
you.
she was destined to do something with hair because she just had it naturally in her hands. Yeah. And then, you know, like but she was 25, 26 when you decided to do that. I think, like, you know, kids, and that is a trade. You can go to, you know, GTCC, RCC, learn how to be a cosmetologist. But at 18, you don't have the life skills. You don't have the grit yet to really know what the heck you want to do. Yeah. So a lot of people, a lot of cosmetologists go to school at 18, right? They're done in a year. They're still only 19, and they don't know what they want to do. They don't know what to do. Who does? Who does?
I would
at 19?
argue that most people don't know what they want to do at 19.
Yeah.
But you're put in a position where, you know, and I feel like there's a societal change happening around that.
Yes.
Trade schools are being brought more to the forefront, which I love.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, I worry in the industry I'm in, it's like, am I going to have a plumber in 10 years if I have a client who has a plumbing problem?
Yeah.
That's
Right.
legit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, so the education, got the early days. We're riding from Salisbury to the salon. Take us from that to where it was like, hey, we're going to own this place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kate and I are so, fortunately, we are so different in what we bring to the salon. It's just complete. It's the reason that we work. It's because it's completely different. You know, her guest care focus and guest relations and 100% guest satisfaction and all of that and her leadership. And then me on the hair side of it, training, education. So we did have those roles for many years before we purchased Jade. We were very, very respectful. We loved the previous owner, who was the owner for 15 years. And Kate and I felt that we felt drawn that we wanted to do something else.
Yeah.
But being respectful of the situation we were in and never, ever, ever, ever wanting to walk away from this person who had mentored us, who had given us a job, all of that. We took her to lunch one day.
Yeah.
And we took her to lunch and we sat down and we said, hey, looking in the future, looking 5 years in the future, I don't know, but a couple of years in the future, Kate and I really feel like we could do something in the salon industry. We know that you will not sell Jade because at the time that was not an option. That was not on the table. This was in 2019, very, very, very beginning of 2019. But we just want to talk to you.
No, it was January 2020. Wasn't it?
No. Lucy.
Okay, Lucy was born. Lucy, okay, never mind.
And so, but we were just open, and we were just like, we don't know what this looks like.
Yeah, we don't know how we're going to
means.
get there, but we think we could do something.
Do you
with
want to collaborate? Do you want to
that
buy
was in
some real estate?
2019.
Yeah, you want to buy some real estate? We're just putting it into the universe. And she was receptive of it. She didn't have an answer for us. She didn't know what that meant. She was appreciative, all of that stuff. And so that simmered for another year.
Yeah.
Till the holiday season. And one day, I'm standing at the side computer, and Katie comes up to me, and she was like, Rhonda said she wants to go have dinner with us. I think we're getting canned. We're getting fired.
I mean, you know.
This is it.
That's where your brain goes.
That's where your brain,
Holy crap.
That's holy crap. She's
It's all gonna happen.
We told her we wanted to like do something more, basically.
Yeah. And we said, you know what? This is it. She's like, I've got to get these people. I've got to get them out of my way. They are a disease to my business. Whatever your head does. Whatever your head does. Then, long story short, by the end of the night, we went to dinner, and she asked us if we wanted to buy Jade.
Yeah.
And this was 4 months before the pandemic.
Yeah. So she was like, I figured she did a lot of the research for us because she knew, I mean, with the salaries we were making and everything. And Jade it's an entity. It's not just your mom and pop's cuts and curls. I mean, it's a big It's a big business.
And a really good small business for anybody wanting a small business is that Kate and I, with her knowing, had gone to banks, had talked to banks about startup loans, getting all of this stuff. And the money was not available for really, I don't know if it's specifically, but the salon industry.
Yeah. Because you have no collateral. You're basically saying, we can do these services.
We can do these, and we're only worth what we do.
What your hands can do.
In services. And you're only worth what a group of people can do.
Yeah.
So we had kind of gone through all of that. So we thought, and she thought that it was, that we wouldn't be able to do it, that we couldn't, there was no way we could get a loan to purchase the business. And then that's where the SBA and
Small
all of
business
that.
associations, thank you.
Yeah. So all those different ways to be able to fund a business, which ended up helping us out.
Yeah. But
And
it's
then
kind of
that
how
was all,
we
that was
got
all
there.
before the pandemic.
And February,
so then that's another.
so February she announced it to the team because we're a really close team. Our culture means a lot to us. We don't want people freaking out. They're changing leaders, owners, all this. So it was a really big production when she told the team. We were all so excited. Everybody was so excited for us. We had been in those kind of leadership roles, and that was February. And then the pandemic happened in March, and then just kind of flipped everything upside down a little bit.
Yeah.
So then it took us another year after that to take over, and but yeah, and here we are today.
So it was basically that at the time was the Olympics of small business owning, because basically it was, okay, the valuation of your company is X.
Yeah.
The pandemic's hit, so now your company's value is 0. So now Annie and Kate, you have to prove before the bank will give you a loan that it's worth what it was pre-pandemic. And that, of course, with employees and keeping employees and having to be at half mass and not being able to have people in there, not being able to create the revenue that we were able to create 2 months before, that became the challenge.
She just told them to hold your beer and watch.
Yeah, we did. We did. So we really, that was how it started. That was how the business
nobody
started.
knew. Obviously, everybody was so different in their experiences through, the pandemic and stuff. But what we realized is that the beauty industry and just going and getting your hair done, it was very essential for people and their mental health. And so we saw that really big, and not just us, but across the salon industry, which was really not. I mean, it made people feel like normal.
Yeah.
Even we were the only business at Friendly Center to open up besides Harris Teeter for 2 months.
Yeah.
There was no
a ghost
retail
town.
stores open, and we had to do.
And that's a huge, for those that don't know Friendly Center, that's a huge shopping center in Greensboro.
Yeah.
Like huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you got places like Apple,
Yeah.
Whole Foods, like big shopping center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just
They
us.
quickly realized they could do all of their business online.
Yeah.
You can't cut hair online.
I mean, you
So
do.
that was helpful.
Yeah, I mean, you could cut your own. I tried to cut Knox's hair, and he and my son, and he looked like sloth. So, but
that was
anyways,
helpful.
that's kind of
to
how
us.
we got there.
So while all that's going on, is there a funny story mishap that just you guys still talk about, think about, and just makes you maybe tinkle a little bit laughing?
Oh my gosh.
Wait, with the purchase of the business?
Just the
Or
purchase getting started. Now it's through a pandemic. Now now the bank's telling you your business is worth 0.
Yeah, it was a lot of tears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some were happy. No, I'm joking.
I'm sure there was. Come back. BRB.
Well, okay, one of the biggest things we did, and it was a whole team, was we did rebrand a little bit through all this. And we did that photo shoot. That was probably one of the best. And the best like kind of things that came. Remember, because that was pretty early on.
Which one?
The one we did at the salon where we had hired a makeup artist to come and do everyone's makeup and and that. And we played a ton. Everybody had their own playlist, and we took photos.
So they have like walkout music?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And we had backdrops and just everybody was just like, oh my God, we've gotten past this thing, this like hump a little bit of the pandemic and everything, and everybody could be together. I mean, because at the time we had to split our staff into half because of the capacity. And so you couldn't leave unless your person had came in. Like, you had to switch. Like the new stylist couldn't come in until the stylist left.
Yeah.
Because of the capacity. So we all got to be together and we were drinking champagne and just celebrating that piece. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, what a great way to keep good energy for your staff while you're dealing with just shit we never dealt with before.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We try. We try.
We do. We love a good team building activity.
Sounds like you just like an excuse to have a bottle of champagne somewhere.
Well, I mean, sometimes.
I'm guilty as charged. It's all good. So, progressive, sophisticated, timeless brand. Mm-hmm. I was reading that on your website, and that stuck out to me. Would you say that's the vision?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would say that's what it's like.
What does that mean?
What do you want?
Yeah.
Like, what do you want in a space? What do you, because it's really hard. It's really hard to say, no, we want to be that place for everybody. But we've been asked this question a lot. We filled out a lot of paperwork where it had to say, okay, what is your market? What's your market audience? And we stand by what we've always said and what we always will is that we want a place that is welcoming, feels elevated, feels a little bit like, oh God, this feels special. This feels nice that I get to have this drink or I get to have this massage, all these added things. But it's okay. I can still afford to go here.
Yeah.
I can still feel comfortable when I walk in. A salon can be an intimidating place.
Yes.
And so you walk in and you see these group of people all dressed in black and their hair's done. And it can be intimidating for a lot of people. And we didn't want that.
Yeah.
We were asked to do an activity with a friend of ours who did the branding for us. One of the exercises were, all right, I want you to think about a person. Who's a person? If your business had to be a person, who would that person be? And and the person was Diane Keaton, of all people. I don't know how old that says that we are.
She just looks like she wants to give you a good hug.
You look at her. She looks timeless. She looks sophisticated, but she still looks a little crazy as hell. She looks fun.
First Wives Club was a great movie.
I love that movie.
Was it not?
And so, so she's timeless. She's all of those things.
Piggybacking on what Annie said, like about the salon world in general, it can be a little bit intimidating. However, we have had multiple guests and people say to us how they love when they come into our salon, they see a little bit of everything. They feel comfortable because they see people like them.
Yeah.
And that is really important to us. And that is what we like to foster.
Let me tell you, I'm sorry to interject.
Yeah.
You brought up branding and you brought that up too. And when I was poking around on y'all's website, I was super impressed with the website in general and the branding. But something that stuck out to me, it's how I got the chopstick question. And right, every single stylist, I think that's the correct word, right? Stylist,
yeah.
Every single stylist that represents y'all's brand, if I'm looking for a new stylist and I'm not ready to make that jump to scheduling or going, I can go in there and read about who they are, what their and all the questions are different. It's not like everybody gets asked the 5 same questions. So you get like a little bio to understand who they are on a real level. So if it's, if I'm feeling a little hesitant on, who I want to take care of this, like I can feel like I get to know them before I thought that was really cool and a good touch.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, and we've had someone say to us once, and I'll never forget it, and say, what does Jade do? Like, what do you specialize in? When I'm looking at your social media or your website, like, what is it that you specialize in? And I'm like, we specialize in everything.
Yeah. We
don't want to say no to anybody. And that can be confusing to some other salons or stylists. That's like, wow, but in order to create such a diverse community within, we have to have diversity in our stylists and our service providers, which we do. And the beautiful thing about it is that they teach each other everything. Yeah. If someone's like, oh my gosh, that was absolutely gorgeous. How did you do that? That stylist will say, come over here. Let me show you. Or, like, oh my gosh, I saw so-and-so today. Like that was just incredible. Can you share the tips, the formulas? Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to stay after and I'll show you? I mean, and that is just the culture that we create there. A stylist gets sick. That happens, right?
Yeah.
Or they're out, they're on vacation. And their guest has to go, oh my gosh, I've got to come in. They come and see a different stylist. It's without question. And the guest, we've actually kind of like not trained our guests, but they get it. They're like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Like, because I really need to, I'm so sorry my stylist is sick, but I can get in today and get this done because I got to go. I got to be on a plane tomorrow, right? And we've got the formulas today saved. We've got the notes in there. And it's just a thing.
So it's a tricky balance. It's a tricky balance of one, being able to, this person that you see on our website probably does the type of hair that you think that they do by looking at their picture. That's probably true. So having that of, yes, I really want to attract this type of person, and we have enough diversity that's great that everybody can, but then also be willing for all of us to be educated enough to be able
to offer
those services to anybody who walks in the door. So it's a little bit of a dance. But that's what's so cool about the industry, and that's what's so cool about being a stylist is it is forever changing. There are always new things to learn, new roads to take, new paths to take, all of that. And that's what's so cool about it.
30 plus employees, am I correct in that?
I think we're at 28.
28?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 28 employees. When you're looking at hiring a stylist, like, what's that one characteristic they must have to be part of y'all's
That's
crew?
hard.
Well, I'm going to give it to, and this isn't a characteristic, but this sums it up. Jasmine, who helps a lot. She's part of our education teams on our leadership team. She said it to me this week, and I have said it in every aspect of my life. What? If it's not a hell yes, it's a no.
We love you, Jasmine.
Yeah. And that's
like,
it's so
true.
It's so true. But for Katie and I, we don't even waste anybody's time on asking us how to hire the right employee, because we have gotten it wrong more times than we've gotten it right. Fortunately or unfortunately for us and our time and our money, we see so much good in so many people.
Yeah.
And
we do. We're connectors.
Yeah. So all of that. So this terrible question for us. We have no idea. We haven't got it figured out. But that is my new saying, is that if it's not a hell yes, then it's
good.
a no.
I even heard you say that.
You've mentioned you don't want to say no, right? In a lot of businesses, you're trained to kind of find your niche, right? Mm-hmm. And you've kind of done the opposite. It's like, our niche is the fact that we're going to encompass as many things and people.
We come from a place of yes.
Yeah. And then you're mentioning that if it's not a hell yes, then it's a no.
Well, that's why we're a partnership.
Yin and yang here.
I love it because I don't share this on open forum a lot, but literally, part of real estate training is finding that why too. Mm-hmm. And mine is simply the word no. So that talks to me. It's like, I want to have the ability to say no to things I shouldn't. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to put myself in a position where if it's something I want to say yes to, I'm not able to.
Yeah.
So everything I'm doing every day, like.
So that's exactly is that we have found and we've done this so many years that there's so many instances that this has happened where we've said, dang, if we would have said no to this person, we could have said yes to this other person. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, because when we do say yes to somebody, we wholeheartedly say yes to them.
Yeah.
Then, and so that's it, is that I think in business, finding good employees is so hard. We don't have that problem. We have a lot of people who do want to be a part of our team, who we would love nothing more than to be a part of our team. But a big part of our team is giving each person the individual attention that they need, because to be a stylist, there's so many things that go into it, and the hair piece is actually the smallest piece of it all. So that it's making that decision of I'm sorry, this is a no today. You're actually a great candidate. You present yourself well. You answered all the right questions. I think you would be a great fit. You're just not going to be a great fit today because today is not a hell yes.
Yeah.
So I've kind of tried to take that on, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
So do you feel like that attention that you're getting, that you're having to have those conversations, I mean, that's great. I mean, it sounds like people are coming to you wanting to work for you. And sometimes you're having to turn down what could be an incredible candidate at the time. Do you feel like that demand is what sparked the second location?
Yeah, a little bit.
No.
I
Go
mean,
ahead.
well, I'll say, so what really sparked the second location was just capacity
We were just
within.
running out of space.
We were running out of space.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had 15 service providers with we have 8 stations. We're split shifting, coming in at 8. There's a crew that used to come in at 8 a.m., get off at 2:30. Another crew come in at 2:30, get off at 9. That was during the week. And then, had a crew on Saturday, crew on Sunday. There was no flexibility for anybody to do anything, to take off and pick up a shift. So that was our big motivator, was for our current employees, to keep them happy, to keep them, and.
Yeah, well, I think there's so many factors that went into it, but what happened after the pandemic and what happened with the new generation and what happened as the years go on and we get older and older is that you then have to learn where to meet people where they are in terms of how people choose to work, want to work, need to work, all of that. And we get a lot of feedback, and there's a lot of pushback as we grow as people of, oh gosh, this new generation doesn't want to work or doesn't this and this and this. And it's just not true.
No.
It's not true at all. They actually do want to work.
They just
want to do
wanna
all
work
of
different.
it. They just want to work different.
Yeah.
And so all of that, so us moving out of the space was just capacity. It was just, we were just exploding. So needed to open a new location to have more opportunities for people. With that came that extra piece that we didn't know was happening, which was, okay, what is it today, 2022, whatever this year was, that people want? Where is it that we as leaders and as bosses can meet you where you're at to make this a place that you choose to work? So it was a little bit of combination of everything. So yeah, more or less, it was just kind of that exponential growing.
Yeah. Just space. And then when we had the space, we started training, and but then we realized that stylists and service providers need more. You can't hire 10 people at one time. You can't even hire 4. We know if you hire 4, maybe half of them are going to get through the training and maybe 1 comes out, I mean, that's like statistics, but we realize with that the education program that we have at Jade works better with fewer people.
Yeah. Because probably just like with you, with Trey, I mean, I'm sure I do a lot of people in real estate, and I do a lot of people's hair in real estate, and so having those conversations of a lot of the.
Can we clip the second part of that answer out? Just keep the first one. I do a lot of people in real estate, and then just the hair thing.
I think that's PG-13. I think
does
that's fine.
No, we're making it more R related.
Okay.
We're going the other
keeping that
direction.
piece of it.
Yeah.
But you work with it, Andrew, and in order to create this person who, because when you're a stylist, you are your own entity. You have to do all the work. It's the work that you have to put into it, the love, the grit that you believe. There's all of those things that have to happen. And I think a lot of stylists coming out of school and starting that, it's way harder than they ever expected. I think it looks like a really cool job. I think a real estate looks like a really, really cool job. I think what's misunderstood is everything that's on the back end of it.
Yeah, and to your point, if I go teach a class, like I'm going to teach a class on Instagram on Thursday, the room can be with as many people as you want, because it's a very blanketed concept. These are ways to feed the algorithm. These are some tips and tricks. You should be doing this. Don't do that. This is what talks to the system. Right? When I'm sitting down with an agent and discussing their business, if I've got 15 people in a room, I can't speak to all 15 of them. But if I'm sitting down with you individually and you individually, the way you're going to be successful in real estate is going to be different than the way you are. And from a branding standpoint, I'm very big on branding. You guys crush that, right? You're going to brand yourself differently than she is. So there's no way for me to sit and talk to 15 people and say the same thing. I'm going to lose more than 75% of the room because that's not how they see themselves running the business. So
Absolutely.
it's a great point.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. And that's great. Is that even though we all wear black and white every single day to the salon, if you look
Same
at
shirts,
if you
this
look
is our
same
uniform.
shirt, if you look at our website,
I didn't say it.
as you say, you can look and see that everybody does have their own individualistic approach
Absolutely.
to what it is that they do. And so everybody can do it differently for sure.
All right, we'll switch gears a little bit. Just some, Greensboro-based podcast here. We're just going to do some rapid-fire questions, just simple answers, starting with one favorite hidden gem in Greensboro.
Ooh.
I went last weekend to, it's either B Chicken or Chicken B in G-Mart, best fried chicken, best wings I've had in Greensboro ever.
Dope.
Yep.
Checking that out. I haven't been there before. Would you agree? Or you got a
I haven't had it
You
yet.
had one, you didn't have one?
No, I didn't
Okay,
get
so
one, and they
they
were
were
all
gone.
gone by the time I got there.
Yeah, they were gone.
Tampado. I actually had it yesterday with Knox Ramen on
Okay.
Market. It's near the G Mart. Every place in
Tampado.
there
Everywhere. G-Mart,
is
that's
a little
it.
hidden gem. The
Yeah.
G Mart. Just
Okay.
go there.
Yep.
It's homemade. It's ramen. They have kids ramen, which is a smaller portion. It has the egg in it and stuff, but he loves it. Oh my gosh, it's so
Okay.
good. Very comfort food. We're really into like ethnic foods.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Nor Indian place, if you haven't been yet on Big Tree,
dude, love
is
Indian food.
incredible. Nor.
Nor.
It used to be that big Louisiana crab house thing on Big Tree Way.
Okay.
It's called Nor. Some of the best Indian food I've had in town.
Tikka marsala, and I might have butchered that name
It's
in
tikka.
Indian
Tikka.
dish. It's like
Tikka masala.
it's like one of my favorite
So
dishes.
good. It's
Oh,
so good.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you got to try it.
Okay, other than Jade, because I realize this question that could be the answer. Relaxing day. Where am I going if I'm in Greensboro? Whether it's spa treatment, massage, just whatever it is. Knowing that you guys are number one, who's number two?
You know what? I recently I had a gift card that my husband got me a year ago on last Christmas, and I had not used it. And it was to Hand and Stone at the Friendly Center. And we've been there a few times. But the lady I had, oh God, I can't remember her name. She was just incredible. It was an 1.5-hour massage, which I've never had before. I mean, they had to roll me out of there. Kate, where'd you park? You know, I could barely walk. I mean, it was incredible because if you are like a go kind of person, I need something like that that's just going to shut me the fuck up for an 1.5 hours. Just lay here and shut up, right? That's what I think. Something relaxing is.
I'm trying to think if I went. Mine would be the Golden Ticket. The movie theater on Battleground.
Okay.
We're Brassfield. So old
It's
school.
a great
old
movie
school,
theater.
Greensboro. I grew up, lived in Madison, so we drove 2020 and came to Greensboro every weekend. And my mom and I, we would go to the movies. And I haven't been to the movies in forever. I don't think a lot of people have, not as much. But I think about the last day that I was like, oh, this is great. And Golden Ticket. It's this. They've turned it into a small theater.
It's so cool.
There's a
It's
wall
so
of
cute.
beer.
Yeah.
The chairs recline. I think
Oh,
they
I know.
might even
I think
heat
they're
up.
warm.
I don't
They-
know.
they
Yeah,
heat
and just
up.
super, super nice in there.
Yeah.
I went and
Yep.
saw the new Twisters movie with my buddy Raph.
We went
I
to
think y'all
see
know.
that there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like we're just sitting there reclined. Like we've got our beer.
Yeah.
I've got like my pile of nerd gummy clusters over
Yep.
here. And it's just like,
Yeah.
man, the movie, I thought the movie was fantastic.
Yeah.
Don't get
Yeah.
me wrong. But even if the movie
Yeah.
was terrible,
The
I would be like,
experience.
I'd pay to sit here and do
The
that. For
This is
2
great.
hours.
Like
Yeah.
this is an escape for 2 hours.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm so glad. When I wrote that question, it was like more spa specific. But I'm
Yeah.
glad. Somebody's answer might be, I just would like to go to a bookstore and relax.
No, totally. Well, and that's relaxing at a spa or a salon. It's so foreign to us.
Yeah, 'cause we're in it.
Because we're in it every day and all of that. So even when we do get our hair done, it's
Yeah,
not
it's work.
it's not what I hope that it is for people that do come in. And we do see people relax
Yeah.
and get to have that experience every day. But I think it does have to look a little bit different for us in our own personal. I want the furthest thing from a salon that I can possibly imagine. I think a theater.
I just need to be quiet.
Yeah.
It's like when my wife wants to talk about houses. I'm like, I don't even want to talk about
Yeah,
houses.
yeah. I get it all the time. Somebody will say, Annie, don't look at my hair. And I'm like, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm
seeing right through that hair, honey.
I could care less. I probably, unless you're sitting in my chair, then I'm looking at your hair. Other than that, I could care less.
Well, that's a perfect segue to the next question. See a lot of people come in, get their hair cut, do whatever they do. Is there a client request or story that a client has told in a chair that's just hilarious, that sticks out in your mind? Like a WTF,
Ooh.
Y'all won't believe what this person asked me to do.
God.
You're like calling the entire place.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, God.
Well, if there was, we would not be able to talk about it because
Yeah.
it's all NDA.
Well, we wouldn't be able to say their names.
But no, it
There's
is
some weird shit that
it's
happens
a whirlwind. Every single day, you have no idea what's going to happen, what the person's going to walk in with. It is so true. If we could mic everybody up, and
they've wanted to mic me so many times,
and
I'm like, no, I don't think I could be mic'd.
We could.
Oh, it's just wild.
We could mic you in the clips of
I
this
have a little bit. I
podcast.
have banter. I don't mean to. I talk to myself a lot, and I didn't know that. And they all hear me, and they're like, "Kate, we have got to put a damn mic on you." I'm like, I don't think that's a good idea. I think we get shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's the class clown of the salon. Yeah.
So lots of funny stories, but maybe not.
So many funny. I can't even.
This is one a long time ago that happened when I first started managing. Okay. And this was so long. So if they won't even this.
Oh God.
When I walked on that lady, she was fully nude in the spa room. Do you remember that? Okay, so our esthetician, who still works with us, okay, she came out and she said, "Kate, my guest thinks she has a hair appointment after her waxing appointment, and I don't see her on the book for a hair appointment." And she is very upset. She wants you to come in here and talk to her. I said, "Bring it on." And I walk in, and she's just fully, unclothed. And I just looked at her eyes and I said, "Ma'am, we are going to take care of this. We are going to get this sorted. I will make sure we get your hair done," and just trying to keep eye contact.
like, can you put some clothes back on?
And I was like, what kind of waxing is she getting done? That's all I could think. Like a full body wax, And I come out, and the thing is, our esthetician is probably one of the most professional people I've ever met, honestly, in any type. I mean, she just is so professional and incredible. And so, she comes out, we get the lady sorted in the chair, getting her hair done. And I just looked at her, I said, "What in the world?" And she said, "I know.
What do you do?
What do you do?" And she just carried on with her.
So
rest
do
of her
y'all
night.
offer like full body waxing?
We do. I mean, we do offer.
I'm in the market. I'm curious.
Okay.
Yeah.
We do offer all waxings except for male intimate waxing.
Well, guess I'm still in the market then,
But other than that, we will wax your back, your chest, your arms, all of that stuff. But we leave the other up to the European Wax Center.
Probably smart decision.
Yeah.
Probably smart decision.
But anyways, that's one of the things. That's one of the moments that stood out for me.
That's
Isn't that
pretty funny. Yeah.
No, I would imagine.
I mean, I guess if I was gonna be if I was gonna be an angry customer somewhere, if I was trying to ensure that I won or accomplished what I was trying to accomplish, I guess not wearing clothes would be a good way to do that.
You know what I think about the funny situations? Actually, you saying that some of the funny ones are actually the angry ones.
Yeah, I've had to fire a few guests
so
who
that's
are very.
it's actually it's just a trip. But
I had to fire a few guests before, just for the way they really talk to our front desk and the stylist. We have our teams back, but we are also on 100% guest focus. So it is like a back and forth of but at the end of the day, we need to make sure our staff is heard and feel comfortable in what they're doing. And so, there's been a couple instances over the past decade that has, you work with customer service, right? You work with the public, but at the same time, and I tell our team this all the time, what a gift to be able to change someone's day, right? So someone's coming in and they're wanting to unload and oh my gosh. And we are that place that they can do that. They can sit on that green couch and have a nice little cocktail, and they can like the stylist or their therapist sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's a big piece of the pie that,
Well, if I come into your salon and I'm having a shitty day and I leave on cloud 9, like what
and that's what we
Yeah,
hope.
one who has the ability to do
you
that.
won something in that
And,
conversation.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, and then you look good. You know, like that's
Yeah.
it. Like that's
good,
the
feel good.
that's the cherry. Like that's the cherry on top. And really, it's all of that other stuff that's more important than that. But yeah, you do. You get to at the end of that. That's the cherry on top. Is that I feel better and I feel better about myself, and I just
Yeah.
had this really fun time with my friend for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's nice.
All right, one word answers here.
Okay.
If Jade was a landmark, what would it be?
Next.
I was going to say Vegas on some days.
It'd be Vegas Strip. No. He said, I don't know. Move on.
I don't know.
All right. We'll move on.
Next.
from
It's
that
not
question.
a calming environment.
One word
I mean, sometimes it is.
answer.
Okay, sorry.
One
That's
word.
very hard for me.
One word answer. Next.
What's your hype song on the way to work?
God, we're so shitty.
We'll
at
just
this
get
one.
Boring.
what-
Hers is R&B, Whitney Houston. Hers is Whitney Houston.
Anything Whitney Houston. Celine Dion, Mariah Carey.
Yeah. I'm more of kind of an Avett kind of girl.
She's like, by hype, do you mean
I
show
mean-
folk
What do you mean?
music? Or, I think
I
they
do-
just won a pretty big award recently.
Yeah, the
What?
North Carolina Association's award or something. They
Yeah,
won.
the Avett Brothers, too.
Aw.
Yeah, I do tend to more of calming music sometimes than, hype
Okay.
party music.
I got you.
That was 1,000 words.
So we've got I Want to Dance with Somebody.
Yep.
And I don't know the Avett Brothers songs off the top of my head, so I'm going to go with
January
Billy
wedding.
Strings.
January
and
wedding.
you.
Somebody's dying. You know?
My wife's really huge Avett
I
Brothers
know.
fan.
We've seen
and
them together.
I think we've seen y'all weren't they in Raleigh that one year? We were there. And we ran in.
yeah,
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
it
we
was
were
an
there.
after party. What
Yes.
a great! So they
Y'all
had
were
a
at a wedding
wedding
or something.
on New
Yes.
Year's Eve,
Yeah.
and then took a party bus down. It was
That's
so
incredible.
What a great wedding party!
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, on New Year's
the
Eve.
bus ride
and the
home,
Avets.
it's like everybody's like this, and there's like a group. Me and AB, we like to party too, but there was like a group of 3 people still trying to do keg stands on the bus, and we're all like, "It is 3 a.m.
Enough is enough.
Everybody's trying to take a nap
Enough.
because we all have to just stop. Just anyway.
Yeah.
The
cook
party's
collards.
over.
Yeah.
I hate
cook
that.
collards
I
great
hate
time.
that
today.
time.
They Avett Brothers are their hype song. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Just got them going. All right, so I want to. Sorry. When I was writing this question, like the hashtag lady bosses kind of came to mind, but I know that empowering women and other women entrepreneurs is important to y'all. So touch on that. What things have you done in the community? What do you guys partner with that really amplifies that?
Well, this came at the right time because something's happened with us last weekend that was absolutely incredible, amazing, filled our hearts, souls in so many different ways, and particularly in this whole like lady boss and coming together. But we had a cut-a-thon at the salon for Hurricane Helene. And what was unique about it was that we invited other stylists from the community. So we just went on Everything Greensboro page. We went on the Trad Moms at Maine, just like the general pages in Greensboro, and just put out, hey, are there any hairstylists in the area that want to come be a part of this?
Donate your time.
Donate your
Cut some
time.
hair.
Cut some hair for a couple of hours. That to do that, to reach out, because the hair industry can be really competitive and it can be very this is mine and we don't play well together, and we've always and have wanted to and are changing that narrative. There's 1 million people in Greensboro. Everybody, there's enough hairstylists to have a full book every single day for the career. It's not a problem of not having enough heads to do their hair. So with the people that responded to it, there were 3 or 4 different salon owners in town. Lindsay from Native Maine, Kara from Bliss and Company.
Yep.
Who else am I missing? But we had these
quite a few sweet
stylists that came, that reached out to us, that wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And so they did, and they came, and they were a part of it. And it was so heart-filling to us to connect in that way with these other owners, and just to have a conversation with somebody in the back hallway, of somebody that just can relate to you on whatever level that it is, because our days are mostly filled with mentoring, leadership, helping people, finding other people's ways and helping them find that way. And so now that that's happened, we have ideas to expand on that and making Jade, what if that was the hub for other salons to come together to do classes?
Yeah.
What if that was the hub for us to call in all of the salon owners in the Triad area to come together, for us to piggyback off each other, for us to help each other, for us to grow together, for us to talk about our grievances
do like a leadership
together.
camp or something, because our space at Midtown is fairly large, so we can host people and stuff there. So that, but yeah, I mean, with that event alone last week, we raised over $4,000.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
doing haircuts.
So it was so it was really cool. So so I think, and I think that Katie and I have just realized, well, I know for me recently, of going, oh, wait a minute, we have been in the industry of leading now for a long time, that it doesn't, when we took over Jade, we did feel like babies.
Yeah.
We were babies. We didn't know how to do anything. So as the years go on, and it's going, you know what, maybe we do have something to share, as well as still learning from everybody around us. And we hear it all the time in all aspects of small business, that there is this need and this want and this energy for small business owners to come together, to work together to make our community and our businesses better. And so the opportunities are there. It's just a matter of capturing them and bringing them to light.
Yeah, and I think you guys will thrive in that. And you hit the nail on the head. Like you're not to make a pun, but the population of the place we live, there's business for everybody.
Yes, absolutely.
But there's a level of supporting each other that only can help all of our businesses grow.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people don't see things that way when they're in a competitive market. So it's not to say it's not competitive market.
Right.
Sure.
But there's, you guys have done a great job at branding yourself and who you are and sticking to that, and people gravitate to that. So being able to collab with other people that are doing the same things, it doesn't take away from your business. It doesn't take away from their business. Yeah. Really, the way I see that is, forward-facing to the community and the people that we rely on to want to do business with us. Like, them seeing us not be competition, but just a collaborative group that wants to make that experience better and the community better.
And also
it's a
collaborating with other industries, right? Sitting here talking to you, sitting there having our summer fest and having different, Kate's got the SPCA coming in a couple of weeks to do
We're doing
pictures,
photos with
Santa. So what the hell is a group of animal people doing in a salon, with Santa of all people? But it works. Yeah, it works. And so it is even like, a salon working with a bakery, a salon working, all of those different kind of cross. It works and it grows everybody.
I love that. Your page, I'm going to read this. Mm-hmm. You were asked, if money was no object, what would you do all day? And your response was, exactly what I'm doing.
Oh, I don't know when I wrote that, but
I feel like I hit the jackpot with my career. I know how fortunate I am to go to work every day, and it doesn't feel like a job, and I just love that. Yeah. And I read that, and I was like, that's really cool. Yeah. Like, we could all aspire to have that.
I understand that that's rare. I understand that sounds like a false statement. I understand that sounds like bullshit.
Doesn't feel like one sitting here with you.
It It's so true. I love specifically to do hair, to have people in my chair all day. I feel just beyond fortunate to be able to do that because it's hard. It's all hard. All jobs are hard. All industries are hard. So pick your hard. What hard do you want it to be? But I do feel fortunate that I don't walk in. I've worked a job where I clocked in and I counted the minutes till the end of the day.
Life's too short.
You know, and that's terrible. And so for those people, you're never going to be successful in that. Does it? But some people have to do it. Some people don't have a choice. But I do feel fortunate that I go in every day and all of a sudden I blink and I go, God, I did some cool shit today. And that was I made a couple people smile, a couple people made me smile, a couple people made me cry. And it was a really beautiful day. And I feel fortunate for that.
So last question. Would love to hear both of your answers. If you could invite one famous person, dead or alive, to sit in your chair and cut their hair, who would it be?
I want to say Diane Keaton, but it's just because she's right here.
Well, my daddy always thought he was famous. He did. Well, my dad in the community.
Absolutely.
So I would have just loved for him to come see our new space. He never got to see it.
Yeah.
Love that.
What about you? Diane Keaton?
Well, I can't top that. I can't top. That was a really good answer.
Well,
and I wouldn't even know where to go from there.
She probably needs her bangs trimmed.
Yeah. Diane Keaton and Katie's dad.
I love that. Well, thank you guys so much for coming and sharing your story.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for having us.
Y'all, if you are looking for a new salon, hopefully you got to know these lovely ladies in the course of this conversation and what they stand for and what they've built and what their vision is. And I know my wife loves her cuts, and I know that when she comes home, it does not make it hard on me to notice that she's done her hair, so I can do my husbandly duties and say, babe, your hair looks great. Did you get it done today? So from personal experience, thank you guys. And again, if you're looking, give them a shout, give them a call. Like we talked about, just go on the website and browse around, see if somebody matches your what's the word I'm looking for here? Vibe. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So again, thank you guys for being here. You're awesome.
Thank you, Andrew. Yeah. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Let's go eat.
Yes.
That was great.
Perfect.